Beastman, what are you doing here?
I've got something very important to tell you, Skeletor.
Right, well now you've disappointed everybody, because we haven't got time for your nonsense today. There have been far too many questions. Get out of my sight before I beat you.
Yes, Skeletor.
Right, hello everybody. Let's get on with the show. Greetings! I am Skeletor, and welcome back to SkeleTalk, the series where I answer your questions. It's the internet's best kept secret. Right, okay, we get off to a flying start with Weapon Zero, who writes, Skeletor, I finally watched every video on your channel. Do I get a prize? Yes! Not only do you receive my thanks and gain my respect, you are also awarded immunity from being added to my ninny list, granted permission to ride Panther during off-peak times, and are eligible for free parking round the back of Snake Mountain during weekdays. Thank you for your dedication. We at SkeleTalk Productions applaud your efforts. I said we applaud his efforts. Yeah. There we go. That's for you, Weapon Zero. Mimi Rogers asks, Hey, question. What is favourite game video? I think it would be Wild Boar Hunting from the Hunter's Video Adventures series. Also, in case you're wondering, my favourite video game is Castle of Illusion on the Sega Game Gear. Thanks for the question, Mimi. Steve Jones writes to inform me that last week's emergency bomb defusal was delegated and that he is fine. He has, as a result, come into possession of a pair of stained boots and part of a helmet and asks if I would be interested. I'm good, Steve, but thank you. Steve also asks what subject I feel most comfortable discussing in this format. Well, Steve, I am happy to discuss anything except politics, sport, or religion, but I especially enjoy talking about Panther and cake. Thanks for getting in touch, Steve. Alex James has 2 questions for me. Number 1, have you considered purchasing a Rancor to guard Snake Mountain? Yes, I have. I want a Rancor and 2 Ed 209s. And question 2, which would you consider to be more of a punishment to watch? EastEnders or Coronation Street? Oh, that's a tough one, as they are equally awful. I guess Coronation Street would be the most mind-numbing, but EastEnders would be the more soul-destroying. Are these shows really representative of English society? Do people actually shout all the time? Anyway, thanks for the questions, Alex. Swoomy Swoom has a question and a request. The question, if you were a snake oil salesman, would you try to sell it to Paul McCartney or Christopher Lee? Well, I am a snake oil salesman, and funnily enough, Paul McCartney is one of my regular customers. Christopher Lee refuses to buy anything from me due to his deaf being rather persistent. Swoomy goes on to request that I call myself to ask for an autograph. Okay, let's give it a go. I'll just grab my phone. Right. Okay, here we go. It's ringing.
Hello?
Hello, Skeletor. It's Skeletor.
Hello, Skeletor. How can I help?
Well, I was wondering if I could get your autograph.
Certainly. It would be a pleasure. Can it wait about 10 minutes? I'm in the middle of recording my YouTube show.
Oh, that's a coincidence. Me too. How's your show going?
Oh, very well. I was actually about to call you to ask for your autograph.
Oh, how weird. Can you give me 10 minutes?
Of course. Skeletor,
Yes?
are you confused?
Yes, very much so.
Me too. I'll see you shortly.
Okay, bye for now. Whiplash, I'm going to go and lie down for a few minutes. Paul Wilson writes, I notice your room is surprisingly bright for an evil castle. I thought there would be more chains hanging up. Is it a rental, or is there more which we don't see? Well, Paul, the show is actually recorded in the Monkey Boy nest, which is located on Earth. I cannot record the show from within Snake Mountain because the pervasive evil causes photographic equipment to malfunction. I am currently standing on Monkey Boy's sofa, which is the only place in his nest that isn't covered with toys. If you'd like to see more of the sofa, do check out Monkey Boy's channel, especially if you like toys and creepy monkey hands. Link in the description. Thanks for the question, Paul. Mike Ciccone writes, Skeletor, were there to be defectors from He-Man's batch of lackeys, which would best fit in with your minions? I perceive potential in Orko and Ram Man. Well, Mike, to be honest with you, I'd take anyone over most of the incompetent fuckwits in my current employ, but Orko would be a welcome addition, as you have correctly identified. His magic is actually very potent, and he only pretends to be a silly sausage. I think Buzz-Off would be a worthy candidate to turn to the dark side, as I could incorporate his powers of flight into my shenanigans. However, the real trump card would be the Sorceress. Fuck my life. Thanks, Mike. Jason Raphael Murdoch has 2 questions. Number 1, Fruity Pebbles, Fruit Loops, or Tricks? Which cereal is more likely to be the filler for the brains of Whiplash? Oh, definitely not Tricks. They are far too complicated. I mean, how is this even made? It boggles the mind. Anyway, Pebbles or Loops would be equally sufficient for the purpose. Well done for identifying the precise nature of Whiplash's intellect. And question 2, Wendy's, KFC, or Taco Bell? Which fast food restaurant would you be most likely to find Whiplash dumpster diving? Oh, that would be Wendy's. Speaking of which, that's Monkey Boy's favourite fast food, and he's incredibly irritated that there isn't an outlet in his city. Check this out. Monkey Boy! Monkey Boy!
What do you want?
We're talking about Wendy's!
Fuck off, Skeletor.
Thanks for the questions, Jason. Daniel Herrin has a rather salacious inquiry. He asks, who has a worse gag reflex, Teela or Evil Lyn? Well, Daniel, when you say worse, do you really mean better? I think you want to know who is greedier for the pipe. And if the testimonies of the Royal Palace guards are anything to go by, I'd say that Teela is the most accommodating. However, Evil Lyn is very good at working the shaft. And I can only apologise to my female audience for articulating that vulgarity.
You're talking about penises, Skeletor.
Yes, thank you, Captain Obvious. Get out of my sight before I beat you.
Yes, Skeletor.
Thank you for the question, Daniel. I think. Tree Theodore asks, if a viewer throws down their weapons and pledges service to you, what are you offering in return? Well, Tree, I offer cold, damp accommodation and the opportunity to sleep on a stone floor without a pillow. I provide verbal abuse with unlimited refills and physical abuse at my discretion. Dangerous shenanigans are arranged on a weekly basis, and my employees' personal safety is at risk 24/7. 3 meals are provided free every day, and the food is of excellent quality. All employees are entitled to a free dental plan. However, I do not offer a pension plan because you are expected to work for me until you are dead. Thanks for the question, Tree. Stephen Gray has 2 questions. Number 1, did Dr. Martin really give his boots to the world so that everybody could be free? No. He gave them to the world so that everybody could stomp about in puddles willy-nilly. And question 2, when you go to the supermarket, do you push the trolley or do you hand this responsibility to one of your minions? Oh, I usually let Beastman push the shopping cart because he is incredibly careless and always smashes it into the shelving or other people's ankles. It makes for a more interesting shopping experience. Thanks for the questions, Stephen. Retro Toy Guy Sai has 2 questions. Number 1, ram's bladder, pig's bladder, cow's bladder, or chicken's bladder? Which would you use to make a lovely carry-all bag for your mother-in-law? Well, I don't have a mother-in-law, so your question is largely redundant. Furthermore, I am not a bag maker, so I wouldn't know where to begin. Furthermore, chickens do not have bladders. Whiplash, come here immediately.
Yes, Skeletor.
Right, tell us how chickens piss.
Well, Skeletor, their urine moves from their kidneys into the cloaca and is then transferred into the large intestine by the act of reverse peristalsis.
And then what happens?
And then they poo it out of their bums.
Right, get out of my sight before I beat you.
Yes, Skeletor.
Right, and question 2. Smurf, Fraggle, Snork, or Gummy Bear? Which is the most disturbing to find swimming in your bowl of custard? Oh, definitely a Smurf would be the worst, and a Fraggle would be the least disturbing. In fact, a Fraggle swimming in custard sounds adorable. Thanks for the question, Si. Cat writes, call Mr. Bean asking why he is so silly and doesn't talk much. No, you didn't say please, and I don't respond to demands. However, I shall be happy to answer your question, which is, did Hordak ever try to kill you or harm you physically? No, his preferred torments were psychological. He liked to get in my head and fuck with me, a tactic I learned to employ myself after I broke away from his tutelage. Thanks for getting in touch, Cat. Gerard O'Connor writes, if a train leaves the station at 7:45 a.m. and arrives at its destination at 3:15 p.m., how and why are you, Bubblegum, a failure at life? Whiplash, if I call Gerard a c***, will you bleep it out?
Yes, Skeletor, I will have to.
Oh, you're a ninny, Gerard. I nearly pooed myself then. Soda Cauldron is wondering whether I prefer Americanos, blue jeans, or chinos. Well, Soda, I don't know what Americanos are, except a way of preparing coffee, so I can't factor that into my decision. Chinos are not particularly hard-wearing, although they are comfortable, and the blue jean is a good all-rounder. However, you may have noticed that I am not a fan of the long pant, so I will stick with my black furry nut hammock. Soda also asks, Coke, Pepsi, and Oreos. Are these available in the Snake Mountain cafeteria? Coke and Pepsi, yes. Oreos, not currently. I will look into this and try to rectify this ineptitude. Thanks for the question, Soda. Finally this week, Andrew has 2 questions to see us out. Question 1, 17 million to quit being a villain. But what currency? US dollars, Eternian credits, New English pounds, or Old English shillings? Dollars, or euros, or pounds would be fine. I'm not greedy.
Skeletor!
What, Whiplash?
You are greedy.
Yes, you're quite right, Whiplash. Do you know what else I am?
What, Skeletor?
Going to beat you if you don't get out of my sight.
Should I get out of your sight then, Skeletor?
Yes, Whiplash, with immediacy.
Yes, Skeletor.
Andrew's second question is, I am getting flakier as I get older. Do you have any tips for keeping your mental acuity tip-top? Yes. Avoid idiots, spend more time with cats, and try to converse with dolphins. If you cannot find any dolphins, try finding a seal. If you cannot find any seals, try finding any bird. If you cannot find a bird, you are living in a desert and have bigger problems. Thanks for the questions, Andrew. Okay, that brings us to the end of another episode. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed the show, why not take a split second to hit that thumbs up? Do share the video with your minions, and if you aren't subscribed to the channel, you should be ashamed of yourself. Right, I'm off to wee in Monkey Boy's water filter. See you next time. Bye.
Get out of my sight before I beat you.